Welcome back to the Narcissism Freedom Channel, and if you are new here, I want to thank you for joining this space where we focus on healing, spiritual growth, and the journey of breaking free from toxic cycles. Whether you have been walking this path for a long time or are just now beginning to recognize the patterns that held you captive, know that you are not here by accident. Every moment of your awakening is divinely timed, and every word you receive in this space is meant to guide you closer to freedom, truth, and inner peace. Today, we are going to dive into a topic that many of you have been curious about: the dynamic between the covert narcissist and the super empath, and what happens when that relationship reaches the inevitable breakdown point. The covert narcissist is one of the most confusing personalities to discern because their entire operation depends on hiding in plain sight. Unlike the overt narcissist who demands attention with loudness, arrogance, and entitlement, the covert narcissist thrives on subtle manipulation. They appear shy, self-deprecating, even vulnerable, and they often use pity as a mask to draw in those with big hearts. Their strength lies not in obvious domination, but in quiet psychological games that erode your sense of self over time. This makes them especially dangerous because their cruelty is camouflaged behind what looks like humility and fragility. On the other side, you have the super empath. The super empath is not just an ordinary empathetic person. They carry a deep spiritual awareness, a sensitivity to energy, and an ability to feel the emotions of others with great intensity. What sets the super empath apart is not only their capacity to care, but their resilience and inner strength. When awakened, the super empath does not remain a victim of manipulation. They become the one who sees through the lies and the illusions, and their light exposes the darkness that the narcissist tries to keep hidden. This is why narcissists, especially covert ones, are both magnetized by and threatened by the super empath. In the beginning of their connection, the covert narcissist often sees the super empath as the ultimate supply. The empath provides endless compassion, patience, and understanding, and the narcissist consumes this energy like a bottomless pit. The covert narcissist plays the role of the misunderstood soul, the person who never got a fair chance, the one who just needs someone to believe in them. And the super empath, with their pure heart, takes on that mission. They pour themselves into helping, healing, and rescuing the covert narcissist, believing love can transform them. But what the super empath does not realize at first is that the narcissist has no intention of changing. Their hidden agenda is not healing, but control. As time passes, cracks begin to appear. The covert narcissist starts to show passive-aggressive behaviors, silent treatments, subtle jabs cloaked as jokes, and manipulative guilt trips. Instead of being grateful for the love they are given, they start to demand more, yet contribute little. The super empath begins to feel drained, confused, and even guilty for not being able to meet the endless needs of the narcissist. At this stage, the empath still tries harder, thinking that more love, more patience, and more sacrifice will finally break through the narcissist's shell. But instead of gratitude, the covert narcissist responds with entitlement and resentment. They begin to despise the very qualities that drew them in because the light of the empath highlights their own emptiness. This is where the breakdown point begins. For the super empath, the breakdown is not an instant event, but a gradual awakening. They begin to notice the pattern of taking without giving. They recognize that the narcissist's vulnerability is a performance, not a truth. They start to understand that the love they are pouring out is being weaponized against them. The empath's spirit, which is deeply connected to divine guidance, begins to whisper that something is not right. And once the empath listens to that inner voice, everything changes. A scripture that often speaks to this moment of revelation is John 8 verse 32, which says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The super empath begins to see the truth behind the mask, and in that moment, the covert narcissist loses their grip. For the covert narcissist, the breakdown point is when the empath's light no longer feeds them but instead exposes them. When the empath pulls back their energy, sets boundaries, or walks away, the narcissist experiences panic, rage, and despair. They realize that the very person who gave them unconditional love has now seen through their illusions. The covert narcissist may try love bombing again, or play the victim with more intensity, or even spread lies to damage the empath's reputation. But these tactics eventually fail because the super empath has crossed the threshold of awakening. Once the empath sees the truth, they cannot unsee it, and their resilience becomes the force that dismantles the narcissist's control. Spiritually, this dynamic reflects the eternal battle between light and darkness. The narcissist represents deception, shadow, and fear, while the super empath represents truth, healing, and divine purpose. God allows these encounters not to destroy the empath, but to sharpen them, to awaken their spiritual gifts, and to prepare them for greater callings. What was meant to break you becomes the very thing that makes you stronger. Isaiah 54 verse 17 reminds us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The covert narcissist may form weapons of manipulation, but when you walk in truth, those weapons lose their power. The breakdown point is not only the collapse of the relationship, but also the rebirth of the super empath. It is the moment when they reclaim their energy, their worth, and their divine identity. They learn that their love is sacred, that their compassion is not to be wasted on those who exploit it, and that their mission is far greater than rescuing someone committed to deception. The empath rises from the ashes of the toxic connection more powerful, more discerning, and more aligned with their purpose. And while the narcissist may move on to seek new supply, they will never forget the super empath, because they know they met someone who could see them fully, and that terrifies them. If you are listening to this and you recognize yourself in this story, know that your awakening is your victory. Do not blame yourself for being compassionate, for believing in someone's potential, or for giving your heart. Those qualities are your gift. But also recognize that your heart deserves to be honored, not exploited. Your empathy is not weakness, it is your superpower. And when you place it in God's hands, it becomes a shield that no narcissist can penetrate. The breakdown point is the beginning of your breakthrough. Thank you for joining me today on the Narcissism Freedom Channel. I hope this message has given you clarity, encouragement, and the reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find this community and receive the healing they need. And if you feel led to support the growth and awareness of this channel, the details are below in the description. Your support helps us continue to spread light and truth to those who need it most. Until next time, remember that you are chosen, you are protected, and you are free.